Okay, class, this lecture is about internet and mobile. It's where everything is converging towards. Anyway, so questions or concerns? Here's the lecture. What's due by the next class? And if you have questions or concerns, let me know. Make sure you list them in your 3 things I learned, 1 thing muddy. Okay, please. This is my definition. The internet, so what is it? The internet is a content delivery system that can immediately send information and information stored on computers to other computers to be displayed on electronic screens. And you know how I just kind of write down. I've done it for a bunch of these different media. When I start to think, how do I approach this topic? In terms of media, in terms of content. Source, receiver, message, medium. All right, so what are the messages? What are the content? So I think there are 2 basic kinds of content on screens attached to the internet. One is content from other media, content that originated in other media types, like books, newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, and movies. The other kind is content that's really unique to the internet, like search. Do that on the internet. Geo search, do it on phones that are on the internet. Social media, allowing us to make all kinds of connections via the major social media sites. Video hosting, huge library, and of course I'm thinking of YouTube. Online retail is unique to the internet. Email, unique to the internet. Texting, unique to phones on the internet. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of our time showing you YouTube or going over social media. I'd rather focus on issues and things for us to think about. I think most of you guys are already pretty familiar with all these kinds of content that are unique to the internet. Now, the issues we're going to talk about are as follows. Misinformation, disinformation. The fact that social media can create feelings of anxiety, particularly evidently in younger users. Smartphone addiction. Okay, this is something that fuels the feelings of anxiety, but it's probably not a very healthy thing for any of us. Privacy, big issue with the internet. Who has control of our data? Related, once you have the data and they're stored in a database that's electronic, the database can be hacked. Bots, clickbait, and fraud are issues arising from the internet. Broadband access, the fact that not everyone has it, is another key issue. We're going to be touching on each of these. So, our agenda for the lecture is to talk a little bit more about what the internet is. Then we're going to quickly go over convergent content, content that originates in other media that is looked at, absorbed on the internet. Then we're going to talk about content that's unique to the internet. And the only one I'm really going to talk about too much is geo search. I'm not going to talk about all the other stuff as I think I already mentioned. But I am going to talk about the other stuff in terms of what issues have arisen from it. And then we're going to talk especially a little bit about mobile phones. What is it? This guy here is Nicholas Negroponte, who is the founder of the MIT Media Lab, which is an amazing organization, still going strong, located in Boston at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And the Media Lab was formed to explore the future of the computer and media. And this is something I lifted from his book called Being Digital that he published in 1995. I'm going to read this. This is changing rapidly the methodical movement of recorded music as pieces of plastic, like the slow human handling of most information in the form of books, magazines, newspapers, and video cassettes, is about to become the instantaneous and inexpensive transfer of electronic data that move at the speed of light. In this form, the information can become universally accessible. Thomas Jefferson advanced the concept of libraries and the right to check out a book free of charge. But this great forefather never considered the likelihood that 20 million people might access a digital library electronically and withdraw its contents at no cost. The change from atoms to bits is irrevocable and unstoppable. This is a very important summation of what has been going on with information in the internet. And this power of information encircles the globe because there are servers and computers literally all over the world that host websites, that host data, that host information. And by sending the right requests out on our computers, this information will be searched, found, and show up instantaneously on our electronic devices. It's really staggering. Yeah, so the two parts of the internet are, of course, this huge network of storage, but then it translates to laptop and then more and more to our phone, because more and more we're using our phones to watch and look at everything on the internet. Here's another definition. Internet's a worldwide system of computer networks, a network of networks, which users at any one computer can, if they have permission, get information from any other computer. That's more or less what we just said. The internet is a globally connected network system that uses TCP/IP, which is its transmission control protocol and internet protocol, and it is how information is transferred. It's the language used to transfer information on the internet. Okay. There we go. So what is it? Well, it is millions, literally millions and millions of sites, websites, which are combinations of video, sound, images that are stored, again, all over the world. Here are some of the biggest websites worldwide in terms of users, monthly visits in billions, and the size of the ball, whatever represented, is the relative size of the website based on users, visits, I should say. Google #1, then Facebook, then YouTube. Baidu is up there, which is a Chinese site, only available in China. You'll see Netflix, you'll see X videos, because pornography was always has been a big part of the internet. You see Amazon. So, there you go. By the way, a quick comment about Google and Facebook. This shows ad revenue for display advertising, which are banners and rich media primarily, between 2016, 2019, and billions of dollars. Now, it's display, so Google doesn't include search advertising. If it included search advertising, Google would be much bigger. But you could see that Facebook and Google clearly dominate. They're by far the biggest in terms of ad spending, and in fact, these two companies make up about 60% of all the ad dollars in the U.S. And the internet is primarily an advertising-supported medium. There are some subscription services, obviously, but most of the internet is ad-supported. You get all these services for free, just the way you do your network TV and your radio. But the media company then is selling you the ability to target you to the advertiser. So this shows absolute number of online users. This is a little old. I apologize. It's going up quite a bit, but the goal is just to give you a clear sense that the internet is not just in the U.S., right? China and India are the top two countries still in terms of numbers of users of the internet. This is just looking at Facebook in terms of users. And India is the #1 country for Facebook in terms of number of users. It's United States is #2. So it's worldwide. And Google, this shows Google business offices all over the world. So the internet is a worldwide phenomenon. The IAB is the Interactive Advertising Bureau. This is the trade association that represents all the internet media companies to advertisers and represents internet media to the government. They set standards. They do a lot of training. They're a terrific group. They're located right here in New York. You can find their site at iab.com. I suggest you have a look at it. Yes, I do. All right, I'm going to stop now, and then we're going to pick up and talk about convergence.